lows. Yeah, boy, you disgust me. Why is your bitch so ugly? My bitch so perfect, she kind of look. Peace. Brother Bridge. Facts. Appreciate you, Reflection. Know what I'm saying? Word, we bringing this work. We doing this work. Appreciate you, bro. Know what I'm saying? We out here. Know what I mean? I'm saying, sipping a green smoothie and shit. Just got done working out. I mean, yesterday, I worked out extra hard and was fasting. I was fasting and went extra hard, went the extra mile. I was fucking exhausted. Exhausted doing the video. My nigga, I wanted to fall asleep doing yesterday's video. But yeah, for she's, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I'm saying rocking the green, you know what I'm saying? Because I identify with the moon gods, you know what I'm saying? The moon god, you know what I'm saying? We know about the moon goddess Lilith, you know what I'm saying? But she has a male counterpart, which is Samael, you know what I'm saying? Also Artemis or Diana, Aphrodite, moon goddesses, and their counterpart would be Adonis, you know what I'm saying? Osiris, Loki, you know what I mean? Or the Green Man, you know what I'm saying? The Mask, the Jolly Green Giant. Those are underworld gods, you know what I'm saying? So I really identify with that energy, you know what I'm saying, for a long time. Before, when I was 13, I actually said to myself that, you know what I'm saying, that's when I really started my foray into when I hopped off the porch. You know what I'm saying? And I remember saying to myself that, you know what I'm saying, fuck a job, I'm gonna scramble forever. And I mean, fuck a job, I'm gonna die scrambling. You know what I'm saying? That's a Nas line and shit, but I always said that I was always gonna be in the underworld. You know what I'm saying? I knew it back then. But that's neither here nor there. So that's with this green. I'm rocking this green bandana. You know what I'm saying? Also, the heart chakra is green and all that, but I'm just letting y'all know a little bit, and I'm saying letting y'all into the psyche and shit, and a little bit into my psyche. You know what I mean? Got the green juice, Whenever y'all get a chance, check out my other channel too. Brother Bridge, the Facts Machine. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna call it the Facts Machine podcast, but anyway, let's get into this. We're gonna talk about the 4 elements today and exactly what they represent. All right, some real good stuff. I hope y'all did y'all relaxation exercise today. Remember the relaxation challenge. I'm saying clearing your mind, learning how to clear your mind. That's the very first step, because peace equals power. So, you know what I'm saying, the very first thing you could do is learn that relaxation technique that we discussed a few videos ago. I forgot the name of the video, but you know what I'm saying? But it's definitely important. I hope y'all did that today. If not, we got 24 hours in the day. You know what I'm saying? Just make sure that y'all do that every day for 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? If you feel brave enough, take a step further and go into the inner temple exercise, and then go into the erecting the sacred circle. You know what I'm saying? Erecting your sacred protection circle and all that. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and get into these 4 elements. The secret of the 4 elements. In this chapter, we are concerned with the 4 elements, the magical weapons, and the subsequent doorways of power. Woo! The subsequent doorways of power. Not much has ever been written about the elements. Students simply tend to accept that they exist and work with them. Defining the elements is not an easy task. Probably the best contemporary work is contained in, and it goes to name on a couple of books, Magical Ritual Methods by W.G. Gray and The Art and Practice of the Occult by Ophiel. All right. However, these are not fully satisfactory from a purely practical point of view, meaning that these is like, textbook. You know what I'm saying? They're not active, they're not practical. It's a good definition, but this book right here does more than define. The Magician, the Book of the Magician, it shows you how to use the 4 elements. You know what I'm saying? But if you want a more detailed definition of the 4 elements, then those 2 books recommended would definitely help you out. Before we can start to use something, we ought to know what we are dealing with. The explanation that follows may well be considered unorthodox by hard-headed Kabbalists. No matter, if it helps you understand the elements, then it is valid. Everything contains energy, and I do mean everything. Even a stone has energy, as you will find out if you are fortunate enough to be able to sense energy. I'm saying we all are. I'm saying you just got to be on mindfulness, aware, conscious. I'm saying, but we all are capable of or fortunate enough to be able to sense energy. Those of us who are, especially those of us who are melanated. Yeah. Strange as it may seem, my very first experience of pure energy came not in a temple, but from a large piece of rock that was part of a famous stone circle. At first, I felt very strange. I became aware of energy and that this energy came from a stone. Not only stone exhibits this phenomenon, water has this quality as well. Everything contains energy, so everything is potential. And I'm saying everything. Well, I'm not going to jump ahead. Some things, like fire, exhibit this freely, while others do not, like stone and water, yet it is still there. So what does this energy do? To answer this, we need to look at the smallest particle in existence, the atom. This subject right here reminds me, it's putting me in the mind of The Last Airbender already. It is well known that the atom basically consists of a nucleus surrounded by electrons and protons, positive and negative. Those with an astute mind will have noticed that this resembles a solar system in miniature. As above, so below. The very thing, okay. So when you look at an atom, it looks like a solar system. And we spoke about the other day, the atom, the things that hold the thing that holds the proton and electrons and the nucleus and everything in place is dark matter, or the dark mother, hold it like how she holds the house together. Now, atoms, when you go even smaller than an atom, all right, you have particles. Okay, so atoms are made up of particles, and we all know that when, well, we don't all know this, but when, okay, so reality is waves. Light waves. Everything that we see is waves. Waves, like this is light, but we could touch it. It's condensed light. I'm condensed light. Everything here is waves, but when you observe it, it's a particle. Now, here's the thing about particles. Particles are each black holes and quasars. So a quasar is a sun, a small sun, and then you have a black hole. So a particle is both. All right, so this particle is a quasar. This particle is a black hole. So it's giving off light. This one captures it. As soon as that happens, this one turns into a black hole. This one is now a quasar. Okay, and it's going to continue to pass on like free radicals. The same concept of free radicals in your blood. And I'm saying that's why we have antioxidants and all this, because Just breathing kills you. Just breathing causes your blood, which is full of iron, to rust. This process is called oxidation. It's caused by free radicals, which means cells, the blood cells. Yeah, the blood cells. Okay, so the blood cells, right? Oxygenation will reduce. A blood cell will lose a particle. Okay? And that makes it a free radical. What it's going to do is that blood cell is going to look for the same particle that it lost. So it's going to take it from another blood cell. This blood cell is going to do the same thing, and it's just going to keep doing. It's going to keep going. Now, when you take antioxidants, it gives the blood cells antioxidants so that they don't lose their particles, and it doesn't create this process of losing a particle, finding a particle, taking it from another blood cell, and this constant chain reaction, which causes the blood to rust, which eventually causes cancer. All right, but now getting back to particles, quasars and black holes, it's the same process, because this process of light and darkness constantly interacting with each other is what gives us the vibration, the vibratory, the positive and negative, the on and off, the vibration that everything is, the vibration that is an atom, the vibration that is the atoms clumped together that are molecules. I mean, but if you go to the very nitty gritty of it, we're talking about particles, black holes and quasars constantly exchanging light back and forth. And that's what causes the vibration, because everything in existence vibrates just at different rates. So that's what we're talking about here. You know what I'm saying? That's the very basis of the elements. And all of this is taking place. All of this is us. All right. It is well known that the atom basically consists of a nucleus surrounded by electrons. Those with an astute mind will have noticed that this resembles a solar system in miniature. The very thing that holds the electrons in their orbit is energy. The same energy holds atoms together to form molecules, and these molecules are in turn held together by the very same energy. So what causes the difference between, say, a stone and fire? Quite simply, the way in which the inherent energy is distributed. In other words, the energy pattern for stone is different than that of fire. So yesterday we talked about that deities, demons, gods, angels are advanced thought forms, which are just energy patterns, because energy moves in patterns. So a rock is an energy pattern. This that I'm sitting on is an energy pattern. All right. In other words, the energy pattern for stone is different to that of fire. This is obviously an oversimplification of the facts, but in essence, it is true. Now, I'm saying having a holistic mind, simple is always the best way to go. Like, I'm saying, just like Dr. Sebi said, I'm saying the holistic mind knows that there's really only one disease, and that's mucus. And the Western mind, we all know who when we say Western, the Western mind comes up with, man, you can look at a medical journal and see how many diseases there are, but all of these diseases are all linked to mucus. And what causes mucus? Starch. And why? And what causes mucus? Starch. And when you eat unnatural foods that are missing a molecule, the only way that it can be created is by adding starch to hold the molecules together. So these unnatural foods cause mucus in your body, which causes all other diseases. So you see how all of this correlates. We just talked about quasars and black holes. We talked about free radicals, and now we're talking about unnatural foods like a carrot or a broccoli, which isn't natural. It wasn't naturally made. It was created in a lab. And to hold what is needed to hold a molecule together to create these types of plants, hybrid plants, unnatural plants, is starch. You know what I'm saying? A man-made or a unnatural agent. You know what I'm saying? So all of this, so that is, I mean, when you're talking about genetics, you're talking about Gnosticisms. So the new Gnostics are geneticists. That's what Dr. Phil Valentine said. You know what I'm saying? But you see it playing out because we're talking about magic, but we could go into, we just talked about Sabi and, you know, a bunch of other stuff, because that's how the truth works. The truth always travels in circles. I'm saying it's universal. You'll be able to apply it in the spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical plane. You'll be able to identify it in each plane. All right. This obviously is an oversimplification of the facts, but in essence, it is true. The only difference between stone and fire is the energy pattern. If you consider that everything in creation consists of an inherent substance called matter, mother, dark mother, held together by energy, you get a pretty good idea of how these things work. Change the pattern of energy, and you change the nature of the substance. You see, now we learn how to do this shit physically, because yesterday, a few days ago, up until now, we've been talking about changing the facts. Changing the facts. You know what I'm saying? By changing the energy, how you view the facts. To take this to its logical conclusion, the only difference between an apple and a chunk of iron is the way in which the energy is distributed. If this theory is true, then there ought to be millions of energy patterns, and indeed there are. In order to understand how they all work, rather than look at them collectively, it is far better to group them together in convenient categories. For instance, apples, pears, oranges, lemons, and cherries. These are all fruit. Generally, they are all similar. The same can be said for granite, sandstone, limestone, and serpentine. They are all rock. They are similar. So their energy patterns must have something in common. This method is laborious and time-consuming. The ancients had a much better idea. Instead of looking at the physical end of product, they looked at the energy itself. It soon became apparent that the energy could be equated to numbers. And by using numbers, they began to understand how creation itself worked. Whichever, I'm saying, whichever works for you, math or myth. I'm saying, because myth is a observation of these same energies, but they've been given personalities, traits, names, bodies. I'm saying, and you're understanding how these energies work. So that's myth. And then you have math, when they apply numbers to the very same energies. Numerology is an offshoot of this early research. However, this is a vast and complex subject that is best studied in its own right. For now, we will mainly concern ourselves with the number 4. So often, this number appears in everyday life as well as in work. The 4 points of the compass, the 4 seasons, the 4 phases of the moon. And there are an average of 4 weeks to each month. We measure time in quarters, on the hour, quarter past, half past, quarter to. And in biblical lore, you get the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, the 4 evangelists, the 4 archangels. In magic, there are the 4 elements. All numbers are important in their own right. Take the number 3. Lucky 3. Third time lucky. 3 wishes. Everything happens in 3s. And in magic, the triple goddess. If you multiply 3 by 4, you get 12. The number of signs in the zodiac. Of special interest to Kabbalists is the number 10, as this is the number of spheres in the tree of life. The way numbers have influenced our lives and our thinking largely goes unnoticed. But as a matter of interest, let me draw your attention to some of the things we take for granted. Remember, I'm saying, always be giving thanks so you never take anything for granted. I'm saying that puts you in that frequency of gratitude. I'm saying always being grateful. I'm saying, and that alone, that maintaining that frequency is magical. Like shit is crazy. The way numbers have influenced our, oh wait, my bad. Do you remember the old English system of measurement? In English sterling, there were 12 pence to the shilling. There are 12 inches to the foot and 3 feet to the yard. Certain specific numbers seem to dominate this system. The number 2 represents duality, male and female, positive and negative, light and darkness, and so on. The numbers 3 and 4 have already been discussed. 7 is the number of the traditional planets, the chakras, the numerous, some people even say the numerous planes of heaven, but I believe that there's more than 7 planes of heaven. I mean, if the number 9 is the number of completion, how are there only going to be 7 heavens? I'm saying, and we can actually identify 12 dimensions. You know what I'm saying? So if there's 12 dimensions, there's got to be like 12 aspects of heaven. But anyway, all right, traditional planets, and 10 emanated from the Kabbalistic sources. Have you ever wondered why there are 112 pounds in a 100-pound weight? Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, when you lifting, if you're a weightlifter, if you're a weightlifter, you know that. If they have a scale in the gym, you take the 100-pound weight, it's 112 pounds. That's weird as shit. Look at the number in a different light. There were 16 ounces to the pound, which is 4 multiplied by 4. There are 14 pounds to the stone, British measurement of weight, and twice 7 and 4 stones to the 100 weight. Whatever. In money terms, before decimalization of currency in 1971, there were 20 shillings to the pound note, or twice 10. Do you know why there are 360 degrees in a circle? Why not a nice, convenient metric number like 100? The earliest circle known was the zodiac, with its 12 signs. Each sign is divided into 3 parts of 10 degrees, known as decanates. Multiply the number of signs in the zodiac by 3, and you get 36, the number of decanates in the zodiac circle. Now look at that word, decanate. Deca means 10 in Greek. Multiply 36 by 10, and you get 360. Okay. The ancient measures did not occur by chance. They were deliberate. According to Kabbalistic lore, God uttered his own name and creation began. This name consists of 4 letters, Yahweh or Yahweh, YHVH, Yahweh, the name of the demiurge, which is ourselves. I'm saying the tetragrammatron, called the tetragram. Each letter represents an element, so it is fair to assume, so YHVH, each letter represents an element. So it is fair to assume that everything is made up of these 4 same elements in different proportions and combinations. The traditional magic circle symbolically represents all of creation. As shown in figure 3, it is divided into 4 sections or quarters, and to each quarter is allotted an element. These 4 elements are air, fire, water, and earth, and they represent 4 different types of energy. All right, so let's go ahead and look at. Let's go ahead and look at. Show you the diagram. All right. So there goes the 4 elements. East, remember in our inner temple, the eastern door is yellow with the sword on it, representing the spring and dawn. South, the south door is red for fire. It had the rod, the spear, or the magical wand on it, representing summer. And noon, you know what I'm saying? They supposed to be the hottest time of the day, when the sun is at its highest point in the sky. The west was the blue door, which had the chalice. It represents autumn and dusk. And then we had the north, which was the green door, and it represented the shield, winter, and midnight. All right. So that is the representation of the cross of the 4 elements. Let's get back to it. All right. Now, it is divided into 4 sections or quarters, and to each quarter is allotted an element. These 4 elements are air, fire, water, and earth, and they represent 4 different types of energy. Some idea of the nature of each element may be gleaned by looking at their physical equivalents and the physical phenomenon generally. Firstly, we align the circle to the points of the compass. Then we allot east to air, south to fire, west to water, and north to earth. Using this as a base for looking at nature, let us take the most obvious phenomenon like the path of the sun. We begin the day at dawn, so let this belong to the east and to air. Then we move to midday or noon. This then belongs to the south and fire. Next comes dusk. This belongs to west and water. And finally, we have midnight, which is allotted to north and the element earth. You can quite easily see how accurate this is. We begin at dawn, the birth of the day. We have movement, new life, new thoughts, all of which belong to the element of air. At midday, we have full height of the sun, maximum light and energy, the element of fire. Moving toward dusk, we have the coolness of the evening. The day's work is done and peaceful relaxation ensues, the element of water. Finally, at midnight, we have inertia, minimum light, and sleep, the element of earth. If we were to use this magically, we would expect to find the element of air was in evidence between dawn and midday. Fire would predominate from midday to dusk, and so on. Note that the appropriate element would predominate during these periods. You cannot have one single element by itself. All 4 must exist at all times. But during their respective periods of dominance, the appropriate element would be far more noticeable than at other times. Let us have a look at the greater solar cycle. The 4 seasons. Spring belongs to air, summer to fire, autumn to winter, and winter to earth. Can you see the similarity between the seasons and the elements? Take summer, for instance. This is a time for maximum heat and energy and is compatible with fire. Once again, we have a guide to when each element predominates. For magical work, with the elements, this guide is quite useful. If you wish to make use of the element of water, the best time generally is from dusk to midnight, especially in the autumn. What time did they find Whitney Houston? What time did they find Whitney Houston in that tub? This is a simple example of how the cosmic tides work, and of course, how you can easily make use of them. There are numerous others. Take the lunar cycle of 28 days. The new moon belongs to air, the first quarter to fire, the full moon to water. You have all heard of the harvest moon. Bring this back to the magic circle. The full moon tied to the element of water in autumn, which of course is the time of harvest, is called the harvest moon. Woo. By adopting the fourfold system of the elements, you can learn a great deal about life and creation in general. The quarters can be used as points of reference or as filing cabinets for information, as you have just heard. Under West, we have autumn, evening, full moon. From this list, we can decide if we wish to work with the element of water. We use these time periods because the element of water is predominant. In this case, water is said to rule these periods. This is not strictly correct for reasons given before. But as long as we remember that rulership is a word of convenience, we shall not go astray. What else does water rule? Well, obviously, water itself in all its different forms. It also rules emotions. Our sense of taste, and numerous other everyday items and occurrences, which are far too numerous to mention at this stage. The idea of rulership is valid and is extremely useful. In magical terms, this leads us to the doctrine of correspondences. In short, everything is ruled by the planets, the signs, and the elements. You will find tables of correspondences printed in various magical books, but be warned, most of these are contradictory. The reason for this is simple. In most cases, these are personal lists adopted by individuals. Sometimes they have been carefully thought out, more than often they have not. The best list of correspondences available is the one you make yourself. This is not difficult, as you will discover, and at least you will know that it is accurate and that it works. You know what I'm saying? So later on, we're going to learn how to do that. To recap the ideas we have discussed so far, everything physical. Okay, so one, everything physical consists of inert matter and energy. Two, different energy patterns produce different physical objects. Woo. Three, energy conforms to the fourfold scheme of the elements. Energy conforms to the fourfold scheme of the elements. In any physical object, there is a predominant element that helps us categorize it. Wow. If the magic circle represents the four elements and everything in physicality contains the four elements and the pattern of the four elements dictates the physical characteristics of matter, then we have a useful system whereby we may contact these energies and use them. However, is it possible that a simple circle divided into four can really categorize every energy pattern in existence? To be of real value, it must. And the answer is yes. You have four elements. How many combinations of all four can you have? The answer is 24. Now, suppose you divided the element of air, for example, into 4 sub-elements so that you get air of air, fire of air, water of air, and earth of air. Do this with the other 3, and we have a total of 16 sub-elements, 4 to each quarter. Now, how many combinations does this give? The answer is 1,572,864. Take this one step further. In this day and age, we have 10 known planets, which for the purpose of magic includes the luminaries. The luminaries are luminaries would be the sun and moon. Each of these rules, and stars are luminescent as well. Okay, sun, moon, and stars. Each of these rules specific energy patterns, which are usable magically. This will be discussed later, but for now, simply imagine that you have 10 planets in each quarter, or 4 different ways of looking at the 10 planets. If we recognize that the elements are present in everything, we must conclude that the planets themselves consist of 4 elements. So we allot 4 elements to each. This gives a total of 40 divisions per quarter, or a grand total of 160. Working out all the possible combinations, we get a staggering 61,440,000 different 4-fold possibilities when you're looking at the planets. More than enough to cope with every eventuality on this planet. Whoa. Whoa. Wow. The simple magic circle has now been developed into a vast system of creation. So far, so good. But how can we make use of this? If you had to sift through all the physical phenomena on our planet and file it under its elemental pattern, you would need more than a few hundred Earth lives and a very massive filing cabinet. Even today's computers would have great difficulty in handling this. Anyway, can you think of 61,440,000 different things that could exist here and now? I certainly can't, and I doubt if there is this many in existence. If you carry this argument to its logical conclusion, you can see that there are bound to be energy patterns that have not been used to this date. So far, we have made an interesting excursion into the realms of symbolism and mathematics, but how does this help our magic work? Look at it this way. The magic circle of 4 elements and 10 planets is linked to every energy pattern in existence, albeit in a symbolic way. Now, suppose we know the precise elemental combination of something physical, say a stone. If we can somehow tune into this combination, we ought to be able to tune into or influence the stone itself in some way. Damn. If you think that this is impossible, you are wrong. What about psychometry or cyclomancy? What about psychometry, where a person touches an object and can tell you where it has been, who owned it, and so on? This is tuning in. What about telekinesis, where people move objects using only the power of thought? Cyclomancy again. This is exerting an influence in some way. These people have found the correct combination and, as a result, have discovered something that is classified as paranormal. I'm here to tell you that this is not paranormal. It is perfectly normal, but we have forgotten how to do these things. The human mind can influence matter by tuning into and influencing the inherent energy pattern. There can be no doubt of this. The process is known as magic. However, when faced with some 61,440,000 440,000 possibilities. Having to learn all these, in addition to learning how to influence the pattern, you can be excused for giving up right now. A hefty computer would help you if you had the time and expertise to work out the program. Fortunately, you do not have to go to all of this trouble. The means is already at your disposal. It is quick, efficient, and costs nothing. This incredible computer knows every energy pattern that exists and will ever exist. It knows exactly the right combination for every object ever created so far. Not only this, if you give it an instruction to tune in or influence a physical object, it will do this without question, with 100% success. Have you guessed what this is? Your subconscious mind. Subconscious mind. You know what I'm saying? They talk about water. You know what I'm saying? All the things that water that is symbolic, all the things that water rules. You know what I'm saying? The subconscious mind and the unconscious mind. We're talking about the waters of noon. Why do they call them that? You know what I'm saying? Waves. Everything is waves, light waves. You know what I'm saying? Has the potential energy of water. You know what I'm saying? Talking about these elements, man. Bobby Hemmett said, you know what I'm saying, that when you talking about the elements, man, you talking about hurricanes. You know what I'm saying? All them hurricanes that follow the path of the slave ships. You know what I'm saying? The hurricanes that decimate, you know what I'm saying, the Caribbean countries and be blasting the Gulf Coast and the southern tip of the United States. He said that this were the undead souls, the unresting souls. You know what I'm saying? The souls that never got to rest. You know what I'm saying like, yo, we are the elements. We are elemental beings. You know what I'm saying? The last airbender and all that. This is us. You know what I'm saying? The Shang dynasty, the Shangos. You know what I'm saying? The ones that civilized, the ones that brought peace and harmony to China, taught them martial arts. Martial arts came from Kush. You know what I'm saying? Only reason I said all that is because the last airbender is like Oriental, you know what I'm saying? An Oriental cartoon. So, you know, a lot of people would be like, well, what did that have to do with us? That's our science. You know what I'm saying? We are everywhere and always have been everywhere. We're not only from Africa. We are from everywhere. Imperial systems came from Africa, came from Ethiopia, came from Kush, which is called Ethiopia today. Imperial systems, imperial magical systems, and imperial, you know what I'm saying, monarchies, all that came from Kush. You know, but we were everywhere. And the places where we didn't have imperial magic, we were doing shamanistic magic, shamanistic rituals, fucking orgies and fucking, like he said, grabbing a stone and you're able to know everything that this stone has ever seen and everything that it ever will see. You know what I'm saying? That's the shamanistic magic. That's that spiritual, creative, right brain magic. Then you have the imperial magic out of Kush, which is the logical, analytical, strict magic doctrines. I'm saying these systems, magical systems. All right. So your subconscious mind. All right. Your subconscious mind is this computer. We are able to control the elements. We don't even know it. When Trayvon Martin died, it rained. It rained in numerous cities for like a week straight. Same thing with Mike Brown. Same thing with Mike Jackson. You know what I'm saying? When certain things happen and you look at the elements, when you look at the weather, we just think that it's coincidence. But these things are happening because we are elemental. We are connected to all in existence because of this dark matter. You know what I'm saying? Our subconscious minds are all connected. You know what I'm saying? Like Wi-Fi. You see, that's the thing. They create these technologies, number one, to combat our technologies. I mean, so they have HAARP, the weather making machine, because we're not tuned in and we're not doing this. We're not doing these things at will. We're doing them without even knowing that we're doing them. The collective of us. So these individuals understand us. They understand our most vicious and most frightening weapon is our subconscious, which is our magic, which is our melanin, which is our dark matter principle. These Albions actually know that, they understand this, even though we don't. So they create technology to do what they cannot. They create technology to do what we can naturally. They study us, develop technology that does what we do naturally, so because they can't do it. At the same time, the technology that is created is a distraction. It distracts us, and even it makes us dull and dependent on their technology instead of honing or improving on our natural technology. I'm saying magic is magic. You know what I'm saying? These people, the Albions, they got magic. You know what I'm saying? And it's pretty fucking effective, but it's not as effective as ours. You know what I'm saying? It's all good and dandy to be a, you know what I'm saying, like a lone wolf sorcerer, you know what I'm saying, in our households, you know what I'm saying, or you know what I mean, individually doing our things. But could you imagine if clusters of us got together, you know what I'm saying, and really put intent, you know what I'm saying, and really did this like collectively? You know, Facebook is all good and all that, you know, but we really will start meeting up off of these social media platforms. And I'm saying the time is coming where we will be meeting up. And I'm saying, and start doing some really big things. Let's continue. So why is it we cannot do this right now? Some pointers to the riddle have already been given in previous chapters. You can compare the subconscious mind to a vast computer and energy source. Every computer needs a program, or it is just a heap of components with electricity flowing through it. Your subconscious mind has such a program. It is called creation. Damn. Woo. That's what makes us the demiurge. Like any computer, access to the program is controlled so that only those who know the correct command or master key can gain such access. So it is with your subconscious mind. Belief is one such access. Anything that can be believed can be made fact. Belief, however, is not the complete answer. The subconscious mind will respond positively to various commands and then execute the program. The subconscious mind will respond positively to various commands and then execute the program. Belief is one. Suggestion is another. Concentration helps, as does relaxation of the conscious mind, because the conscious mind, remember, is the damn security guard. He in the way, but he does a good job. It's necessary. Concentration helps, as does the relaxation of the conscious mind. All these things aid access, but the correct procedure is to see and use the master key, which is the symbol of creativity. Damn. Woo! Woo! Nigga. The master key. Which is the symbol of creativity, the encircled cross of the 4 elements. The use of this symbol in your imagination will give immediate access to the subconscious mind. Damn! Yo, my nigga, did y'all niggas download this book yet, man? Yo, go to Abode of Sun Moon, man. Get the free PDF, man. We gonna have the America PDF up there too. The America PDF, my nigga. This book, America, cost $58,000. I'm saying, I'm about to upload the PDF to Abode of Sun Moon. I'm saying, y'all can have it for free, but y'all gotta download it on a laptop or a desktop because the file is too large. You know what I'm saying? It's a great. The reason these books cost this much is because, you know what I'm saying, they don't. The publishers or the people that control information in society, certain things are just, you know, gnosis is unwanted, like, you know what I'm saying? So they make it really expensive, you know what I'm saying? Because the average person is not going to spend, the average person values this fucking green money more than they value what they can get from unlocking that information within themselves. Yeah, man, head on over there and check out all our goodies. And I'm saying that body bag will help you get your mind right. That body bag will help you get your fucking magic popping too, man. I'm saying it's 100% relaxation. Get rid of that anxiety. Get rid of that it just relaxes you, man. It lets your melanin heal you overnight while you sleep. And I'm saying regulate melatonin, serotonin levels naturally. We naturally have melatonin. Our pineal glands are not calcified, so we naturally produce this melatonin. The thing is, light coming in, ambient light coming in while you sleep is going to halt that procedure. But the Kratom, my body bag, what it's going to do is the different strains that I put in my body bag, it's going to regulate the melatonin and serotonin levels in your mind, in your Amenta tribe. I know you heard of Amenta, hell, the underworld. Well, the Amenta is inside. It's the brain stem is the Amenta tract. You know what I'm saying? Well, all that neuromelanin, melatonin, serotonin, all these goodies traveling up and down your spine, up into the Amenta tract in the brain stem, underneath the reptilian brain. You know what I'm saying? So that's the Amenta, that's the underworld. That is the source. I mean, all of these things are inside of you, man. Cthulhu, Leviathan, all of these fearful figures that when we watch movies and society is afraid, oh, this dark thing is coming, an ancient evil is rising, and that will destroy our society. That shit is in the root, in the dead center of your brain. You know what I'm saying? So how do you access these chemicals? You know what I'm saying? Naturally, using herbs. You know what I'm saying? Kratom is one of them. Brother Bridge body bag, die to your old self. All right? So the encircled cross of the 4 elements is the master key, the symbol of creativity, the symbol of creation. All right? The use of this symbol in your imagination will give immediate access to the subconscious mind. The rest is up to you. All magical equipment is only used to aid in this inner contact. Eventually, it can be dispensed with. I'm saying, so all the other shit, all the little fucking shit niggas use for their ritual and all that. You know what I'm saying? Once you get this inner temple popping, you ain't gonna need none of that. You won't need none of that. You know what I'm saying? Your temple, your altar will be with you everywhere you go. And remember, practice makes perfect. So the more you do it, you'll be actually creating your manifestation will be like this. Instant. Yo, yesterday I walked out my motherfucking front door. Why I found 14 grams of motherfucking guava gelato. Gelats. Meds. Med grade. Medical marry. Feel me? For free. You know what I'm saying? You ain't even, yo, listen, man. This shit is, listen. I ain't even gonna tell you how I did that. I didn't even do it intentionally. It was just like, yo, man, it would be nice if, you know what I'm saying? Or no, I didn't even do that. I was just like, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna, because my priorities, okay? Priorities. So before I spend on some get high, let me invest in something else. It would be nice though. It would be nice because I'm a person that I never go without. Like I never, like for as far as I can remember, even when I was locked up, like I never went without weed. Like never went without weed. Never. You know what I'm saying? This would have been the first time in years. Woo! In years that I would have went without. I was just like, you know what, my nigga, priorities. It's nothing. It's nothing. Mind over matter. That shit ain't that important. So I did what I felt was, you know what I'm saying, more of a priority. And then bang! Boom! Walking out the front, like right in front of my doorstep, like somebody put it there. The crazy part is, yo, the shit was in a fucking medical, like from a dispensary. It was still in the shit, like marked, and I was, yo, shut, this shit was crazy. Yo, my subconscious mind is a vicious motherfucker. I love you, nigga. Good looks. You know what I'm saying? Hey, everything's better when it's free. Gelats. Shout out to the gelato. Guava gelats. All right. So as we were saying, before I took y'all niggas all around the world, the use of this symbol in your imagination will give immediate access to the subconscious mind. The rest is up to you. All magical equipment is used only to aid this inner contact. Eventually, it can be dispersed with. I have always maintained that magic is our natural birthright and that it is simple. Unfortunately, we often have to go through many complications to get this simplicity. Because that's what the world. Hey, have you ever fucking seen the cartoon, right? Where like Wile E. Coyote is always coming up with these contraptions, these big ass contraptions. You got the motherfucking the bowling ball or roll down the plank, knock over the dominoes, make the fucking bird sing, which will wake up the cat and make the shit fall. And I'm saying just to turn on a light. That is the Western mind. That is the mind of the Western man that built all the schools, that designed this society. This is an individual that is only having a secondhand experience here. He can't even feel all that we feel because he doesn't have much dark matter inside of him. So this individual, man, has just a weird, strange way of thinking. But the funny thing is, we have adapted to this way of thinking, and we actually believe that this logic and intellectualism is superior or it's right and exact. I'm saying Bobby Hemmett always said that we are chaos beings. I'm saying, so if it's logical, if it makes sense, it's not our shit. It's not our shit. Get rid of it. It ain't working for you because that logic, that intellectual shit is in the way. It's gonna have your conscious mind telling you reasons why shit won't work. Even when your magic is working, your conscious mind is still thinking fucking logical and rational and common sense, which sense ain't common. You know what I'm saying? But get rid of that shit. It ain't working for you. You know what I'm saying? Be the road runner. That motherfucker don't care about nothing. He just running. He just running the road. Running the road, doing his thing. Not worried about nothing. That motherfucker see some bird seed right there. He don't care if it's a trap. He don't care if it's GMO bird seed. He don't care. That motherfucker pick it woo, 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 and take off. Gone. Here come Wile E. Coyote like, damn, why my shit didn't work? Then he go fuck with it. Boom. He get caught in his own trap. That's what's happening to these crackers. That's what happens to these crackers. GMOs, fucking chemtrail, all this shit. They're Wile E. Coyote. None of this shit works. That's why they got to keep doing it. That's why they got to keep putting this shit on the news. That's why they got to keep showing you black people getting shot. That's why they got to keep. That's why they can't let up in Hollywood, and they always got to show the black man and the black woman at war. That's why they always got to show the black man in the dress. That's why they always got to do these fucking subconscious. These images. They try to put these images in front of you so that your subconscious downloads them, and it like. It has, see, this is their magic. That's their magic. It's inferior, it's funny, it's goofy, whatever, but it fucking works. It might not work on the 1%, which is us, but it works on the other 99%, the cannon fodder, the ones that are here to protect, to block and protect us, the 1%. Who are really doing the work against the other 1%. I'm saying, because if they exist, we exist. I'm saying, so our shit, us being really like, yo, son, it's on and popping. You already know how we giving it up. Say no more. Unfortunately, we have to go through many complications to get this simplicity. We live in a complicated world. We know why. Because this society was designed by some strange, just a different way of thinking, man. Just a different way of thinking. A different way of thinking that is unnatural to us. And I'm saying, go into your inner temple, man. And I'm saying, you gonna start. Hey, yo, man, I could tell y'all some magical shit, but not on YouTube, man. Like, my magic is straight fucking nefarious and infamous. Like, this shit is fucking unlawful. I mean, I'm a bad motherfucker. You dig? But not arrogant. I'm saying, not even to say that arrogant, because you could do it too. I'm saying, that's why we even doing this. We live in a complicated world. By now, we should have swept away many of these restrictions. From now on, your magical work should be simple. You will not need lots of equipment, scores of books, or hundreds of notes and rituals. You can make it as complicated as you like later on. For quite often, the mind delights in the complexities of creation. This is quite valid, but only if you have found simplicity first. See, everything emanates from the black dot. Simple. Everything is simple. Everything emanates from the black dot. That black dot that made a wave. And then that wave made another wave and 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 another. I'm saying, but it originates from the black dot, so it's real simple. Everything is simple. I'm saying that's what the book is telling you. I'm saying find simplicity first, then get creative and complicated. I'm saying this is quite valid, but only if you have found simplicity first. Now, let us look again at the magic circle in the light of understanding and common sense. Demons and astral entities can be left with those people who prefer that pointless form of pastime. Demons and astral entities can be left with those people who prefer that pointless form of pastime. The encircled cross is the master symbol. The more you work with and familiarize yourself with it, the easier it will be to use this to unlock the door to your subconscious power. The true magic circle exists in your mind. Booyah! Any physical representation of this or the quarters can only ever be an aid to concentration and the focusing of the mind on this symbol. All right, so I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you a picture. Show you a picture of the encircled cross. See here. We see here. We already saw a picture of the encircled cross, but this one is quite interesting. So you see, does that look familiar? NEWS, news, north, east, west, and south. The encircled cross is the master symbol. News. The news. Look at what they do with the news. You feel me? Look at what is. Uh-oh. 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 Okay. Thought I lost y'all for a minute. All right, hold on. Can y'all see me now? Can y'all see me now? You can see me now? Pardon me, y'all. Pardon me. Technical issues. Let me know in the comment section if y'all can see me, because this shit crazy. All right, awesome. Let's go. The encircled cross is the master symbol. The more you work with and familiarize yourself with it, the easier it will be to unlock the door to your subconscious power. The true magic circle exists in your mind. Any physical representation of this oh boy, that shit fucked me up. Any physical representation of this or the quarters can only ever be an aid to concentration and the focusing of the mind on this symbol. Let us now familiarize ourselves with the master key. All right. Let us now familiarize ourselves with the master key. See figure 4. Symbolically, which is the figure that we just looked at. Symbolically, the circle contains all in creation. Within it all is possible. You as an individual stand inside this circle. You can move everywhere and anywhere you like. And you are free to create whatever you wish. The area covered by this circle can be as small as your temple, or it can contain the entire universe. At each of the 4 cardinal points are the focal points for the 4 elements. At east, you have air. At south, you have fire. At west, you have water. And at north, you have the element earth. In order to control the elements, you need another symbol, one that your subconscious mind recognizes. Traditionally, these are the 4 weapons. For air, you have the sword. For fire, you have the spear, wand, or rod. For water, the cup or chalice. And for earth, the shield. You need not at this stage purchase or make physical representations of the weapons. At the moment, it is far more important to understand them. There is a certain amount of controversy over the placing of the sword and the rod. Some people put the sword to fire and the rod to air. This shows a complete lack of in-depth thinking. If you track the traditional attributions, you will find that the ones I have given you are correct. You can make anything work if you try hard enough. But the path of least resistance is usually the best. Each magical weapon is used to control its appropriate element. When you pick up a magical rod, you do so in order to use it. In this case, to control the creative power of fire. If you remember this fact, you will not go far wrong. The symbolic handling and setting up of all 4 weapons implies total control over. Hey, yo, that was magic right there. Yo, so when this shit get good, you'll be able to burp and do magic. You know what I'm saying? When you really get your shit together, it's like, boop. You know what I'm saying? Poof. The symbolic handling and setting up of all 4 weapons implies total control of every elemental energy pattern that exists within your circle of creation. We live, however, in a 3-dimensional world. So we must look again at our magical circle, which at the moment is 2-dimensional. In addition to the 4 cardinal points, there are 2 more needed to complete the scheme, one above and one below. The uppermost point represents the power of the All-Father energy, of the All-Father. Okay, so the uppermost point represents the power of the All-Father, which is energy or dark energy. Like we have the dark mother, we have the dark father. The dark father is dark light, light that we cannot see. It's so bright, or it's so many colors in it that we can only perceive it as blackness. You know what I'm saying? So that's dark energy, or the dark father, flowing downward toward earth. It could be likened to manna from heaven, and we always refer to God as being up there in heaven. The point below belongs to the opposite number. Our earth mother, matter. Okay, so dark energy is the light flowing downward, and our earth mother earth, is matter, or dark matter. Okay, and the two combining make physical creation, which is actually 5% of the universe. Word. So 95% of the universe is dark energy and dark matter, which dark energy is about 75%. Dark matter is about 20 something percent, and about 4 or 5% is physical matter. She grows upward and responds. So the plants grow upward and respond. To make this a three-dimensional magic circle, we have to turn it into an inner temple. This is done quite easily and forms the basis for a useful ritual. You can do this anytime you wish, and in fact, you should practice this often. The rewards are proportional to effort, so do become familiar with this procedure. The completed magical circle. Hey, let me know if y'all can't see me again too. You know what I'm saying? I just started over. The completed magical circle, which consists of the encircled cross of creation, the 4 pentagrams, the 4 magical weapons, and of course the 4 cardinal points with the source of bright light in the center. This should be practiced as often as it is the ideal in which to start a ritual or meditation, because it alerts your subconscious mind. By erecting the symbol in your mind, you are giving the master cipher to your subconscious mind. Gradually, you will learn how to give commands that will inevitably result in power being released for whatever purpose you desire. For those who like to meditate on or contemplate such things, here are a few interesting lines to follow. The magical circle and pentagrams are a perfect scheme of creation, and their geometry will reveal much to those who decide to research in this way. From top to bottom, you have the creative potential of father, mother, the birth cycle, and the mysteries of the child of light. Around this pivot are the elements whose combinations spell names of power. As you learn to speak these names, you are able to create. The real names of power are not earth names and words. They are patterns of energy. It is not the words and actions that matter, but always the inner work which produces power. Such inner work is done simply in the imagination. For instance, you could say Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John while inwardly performing this ritual by erecting the magical circle and 4 pentagrams, 1 for each word. Words are quite useful, especially if you are working with other people, but you can manage without them. You now have a magic circle which, with practice, can be erected very quickly. As your subconscious begins to recognize this, it will become more and more effective. Gradually, we will build up a complete magical system with it, a system that is completely yours. Inside this magic circle, we will build up a temple, an inner temple, and use this to good effect. Always remember that the outer physical temple and its equipment are only there to help you concentrate. The outer temple is a place where you can shut out the distractions of the outside world while you work. If you have such a place, well and good. But if not, it does not really matter. Anywhere quiet will do. It is the inner temple that really matters, and you carry this around in your head. preparing for magical work. Now, here is the second stage of the exercise to expand your awareness of this magical circle and build up the magical temple ready for magical work. Following is a complete and very effective ritual. You will need to practice this procedure for a day or so that you can perform it fluently. The words and ideas are my suggestions to you. You may use them, you may elaborate on them, or you may change them to suit yourself. You need not speak out loud. You can say all the words in your mind. Before you start any ritual, be methodical. Plan out the ritual and have your intention clearly in your mind. Here is a checklist of the things you may wish or need to use. 1, organize some relaxation. Soft music. And I'm saying that'll help with that. Know the inner temple exercise fluently. So we about to, you know what I'm saying, we going into hyperdrive. Know the inner temple exercise fluently. Have your central white candle or lamp already in position. We already talked about all of these materials. Have some means of lighting the candle, such as matches or a taper. Have joss sticks or general incense with a charcoal block and something to burn this in. Have a robe if you feel that you need one. The all-important intention is the most important preparation. I suggest that you make the intention the acquisition of your own personal power. So the acquisition of your own personal power should be, or is recommended to be, the intention for this ritual for the first time that you do this. You know what I'm saying? Because it'll help. Set an appointed time when you will not be disturbed and lay out the temple area ready for use. Put on your robe or in some way attire yourself ready for work. You know what I'm saying? Remember, the whole thing about the robe is when you're in your temple, it's supposed to represent like you're not in the physical world. You're not in the mundane world. This world, this temple is outside of the realm of time and space. So the way that you could represent that literally or physically is by putting on a robe, putting on a priestly robe while you're in the temple. And you know what I mean? Because it'll make the conscious mind actually see that, oh, okay, we never wear this except for when we're in this space. So, you know, it will become a fact to the conscious mind, it will become a fact to the subconscious mind. Boom, boom, boom. Using the procedure already given, switch on your relaxation or soft music and allow yourself to relax and let go of all outside thoughts. On completion, change the music if you wish. Spend a little time contemplating your God and your inherent power. When you are ready, move to your central candle. Facing east, say clearly, "Behold my inner light rising into recognition, illuminating all darkness." See the light inside of you, then say, "I am immortal. I have power. I create according to my will." See the light transferring to your central candle, then light the candle. Now you may touch your forehead, touch your lower breast, then touch your right shoulder, then your left shoulder. Remember the sign of the cross. I'm saying circle your hand in front of this area to join up the arms of the cross. Clasp your fingers and hands together and on the breast as if in prayer. You can, if you like, draw this in front of you with your forefinger and say, "Behold this outer representation of my inner power. As light illuminated darkness, so shall power exert influence throughout this magic circle." Now, see an encircled cross extending outward from the flame as you perform these gestures. Now we move on to the opening of the quarters. You know what I'm saying? So as you draw, me personally, like I'm saying, after I do that, you know what I'm saying, I actually and I'm saying, put my hands in front of me as though in prayer. I actually imagine I can see the magical circle move back from in front of me and go and hover above the flame. You know what I'm saying? Like I drew it, and then it's laying flat over the flame. I'm saying north, south, east, and west. I'm saying, because so that's where the doors are in my inner temple. I'm saying north, south, east, and west. All right. Still facing east, trace out the eastern pentagram. Remember, in the invoking pentagram, it's from the top point and down to the right, and then you finish drawing it like that. And with the banishing pentagram, it's from the top and to the left, and then you finish the pentagram in that order. Behold, the element of air rising as the dawn and flowing freely as a morning breeze. See in your mind. Now remember, you don't have to use these exact words. You could put your own words in there. It's whatever I'm saying. Make it yours. See in your mind the sun rising. Feel the air blowing gently around you. Spend a little time on this. Now stab the pentagram in the middle and say, behold, the eastern pentagram, which represents my total energies of air. Now with your arms still outstretched, turn to the south, forming the circle as brilliant white light pours out for your forefinger, facing, and do the whole thing with the pentagram again. Draw it out. I'm saying, then you say, draw it out. Stab it in the middle. Behold the element of fire burning brightly as the midday sun, giving warmth and power. See this in your imagination. Try to feel this warmth. Stab the pentagram as before, and then say, behold the southern pentagram, which represents my total energies of fire. Now continue around, turning to the west, tracing the circle as you go with an outstretched arm. So as you're turning, you're tracing the circle of white light. I'm saying, as you go into each quarter. Now, when you reach the western pentagram, you say, behold the element of water lying peacefully in the light of the setting sun, bringing abundance and plenty. See in your imagination the setting sun over the sea, followed perhaps by clear water flowing from an underground spring. See and try to feel this. Stab the pentagram in the center and say, behold this western pentagram, which represents my total energies of water. Finally, we open the northern quarter. Turn to the north. See brilliant white light pouring out from your forefinger. Facing the north, trace out the northern pentagram. Then say, behold the element of earth illuminated by the starlit sky, bringing stability. See this in your imagination and try to feel the solid earth underneath your feet. Stab the pentagram in the center. Then say, behold the northern pentagram, which represents my total energies of earth. Now, the whole purpose of this, while you're doing this, is remember, like, you're imagining it so it actually exists. There's actually a dimension where this exists. And if you can match your frequency inwardly with the frequency of that moment in space and time, you're really there. I'm saying? So even though you're imagining it, it exists. It actually exists. I'm saying one of your subtle bodies somewhere in some other dimension is actually doing this. I'm saying? Being a quantum being, you exist in all places at all times. I'm saying? Because time is all the time. It's always now, everywhere. Whether it's the past, present, or future, it's always now. I hope I don't sound burnt out. Okay. Facing east. So when you get back to the east, facing east, extend your arms in the form of a cross and say, in accordance with cosmic law and through my inner guidance, I now take control of all elemental forces. Around me are the four symbols of dynamic power. Looking towards the east, say, through my true magic sword do I direct the air with my thoughts. Because the sword is symbolic of your wits. It's symbolic of your mental wit. See the magic sword appear in the eastern pentagram, then turn and face south and say, through my true magic rod do I direct fire with my creative power. See the rod or spear appear in the southern pentagram, then turn and face the west and say, through my true magic cup do I receive abundance and emotional uplift. See the cup appear in the western pentagram, then face the north and say, through my true magic shield do I shape matter with purpose. See the shield appear in the center of the northern pentagram, finally face the east and say, I now declare this temple open and the magic circle firmly established. This is now a good time to burn any incense, then say, and in the column shines the six-rayed star. The columns are the two magical pillars that are used as symbolic doorways in which you enter the inner temple, black on the left and white on the right. You do not at this stage need to have physical pillars. You need not have them at all. Simply imagine them in front of you. Then see a six-pointed star appear, hexagram, emblazoned on the door. This is the door to the inner temple. You are now ready to proceed with any magical work. You may, if you like, state the purpose of the ritual. This helps to refresh the memory. When you are ready, be seated, or if you prefer, stand and perform the inner temple exercise. When you get to the pool in your imagination, think your intention into the pool and see the waters reacting and shining with light. It does not matter whether you do this with your eyes open or closed. Just imagine this happening. Do not do this and hope something may happen. Do not wish that it may come true. This is the wrong way to do things. Refresh your memory. I have power. I have creative power. You can create anything that you wish. Doubt and half-heartedness, reduced impact, have nothing to do with these things. Put complete trust in your hidden power into the pool. This ritual will produce results. It cannot fail unless you do not want success. Before you start, fill your mind with positive thoughts. Tell yourself that this is what you want and that you are going to give your magical power a chance to prove itself. Instead of struggling along the hard way. The more that you put in, the more that you get out. So give it everything you got. Let it happen now. At the end of the inner temple exercise, leave the inner temple by the door. Stand up and facing the east, see the sword and pentagram disappear. Then say, let there be peace. Turn to each quarter in turn, seeing the circle, pentagrams, and appropriate weapons disappear. Then return to the east, see the encircle cross disappear. Then say, behold what has happened this day. May my inner power continue to work on unseen levels, achieving my desires in natural ways. Extinguish the central candle. See the light pass back inside yourself and see the inner light fade away. Then say, peace is power, and all power lies in peace. I now declare this temple closed. Then leave the physical temple. If you have any impressions or ideas, write this down in your notebook before you forget them. With a little practice, you will become proficient in the use of this basic ritual. Practice this daily for the next 2 weeks. The sooner that you learn it, the sooner you can develop it further into a simple, powerful ritual that will enable you to use magic to get results. So, I'm saying, in steps, baby steps. First thing, relaxation ritual. Next thing, inner temple exercise. I'm saying 2 weeks each. I'm saying, and then by the time you get to this, those will be ingrained by habit. So it sounds like a lot, but you're actually adding little by little. I'm saying little by little. This is a process. Word. So there we have it. I'm saying the secret of the 4 elements. I mean, because we are the elements, we are the airbenders. I'm saying I wanna thank all of y'all. Thank all of y'all for tuning in. I'm saying Aboda Samoon, Brother Bridge, Wunk.